So in this next stage, we're going to do the dry sandy beach. If I look at that here, we've already previously established that it's got, orangey to red. So we said yellow, orange and red. So an orangey sort of colour here in that. The things I notice about this are that firstly, there's quite a crisp line there, and that's super important. If I could put that into my painting as quite crisp, that would have a big impact. And it's a little bit darker here as well. The other thing I notice is that there's sort of highlight, sun catching higher bits of sand. So I'll drop that in. First thing I'll do though is put in this darker highlight. I'm going to, I'll grab a new bowl. I've got a bluey colour already mixed here, but because it's going to go darker, should be all right to use. I'm going to use some burnt umber, which tends to have a natural orangey base to it. And if I wanted to, I can use this mix here just to soften that, the orangeness of it. Just really blunt that down, which I've managed to do. Let's just check my tone here. Not too bad. I'm going to put a little bit of black in as well, just to neutralize that color a bit more. And I'm way too dark, so then I'll start to add some light. The thing about white is it kind of makes it you really lose your underlying colour, which I don't really like. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in. Okay. So I'll put that over there. And what I want to do is create a nice sharp line. So I've got this brush, this mix, and I'm just going to take this down along the edge, and then I flip it because the paint runs out, and then the paint gets squeezed in the other side and comes out. And you can see here that I'm getting quite a nice sharp line there. I'll grab a little bit more paint and continue this up and flip it, 1 or 2, 10 or 15 mil, and then flip it. And just keep heading up the beach like that. Okay, so now we've got a pretty crisp line. And depending on, whether we think that's dark enough or too dark, I think it's too dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag back some colour out of there with my dry brush. Alternatively, if you don't have a dry brush, you could get a paper towel, sort of come at it from the side, just to try and tidy that up. And then your next option is to lighten up this mix. And I'll just keep adding a little bit of liquid just to keep it on the move. And then I can sort of come in a little bit closer to that edge and just not make it so wide and so dark. Okay, so that edge is quite important to the painting, and that little wave there is going to be very important. I'm going to leave that one. Okay, next thing is we might just put some highlights in here. When we look at it, it's a little bit on the light, a little bit not quite light enough. And these highlights have got a little bit of orangey red in them, so I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that cadmium red, cadmium yellow mix, just to lighten that up. And that doesn't look, see how I'm getting a lighter mix. I'm just going to add a little bit more white to that. And then I'm going to just come through the beach. This is more just a bit of a demo rather than trying to do the whole thing in front of you. So I'm finding some of these lines which are coming down the beach. I've run out of paint, so I'll grab a bit of that lighter paint. And there's a few bits down here as well. Okay, so there, as you can see, I'm very sort of careful with my direction of my brush strokes. The beach is running this way, so you never see me painting in that type of angle. I might just lighten up some bits here as well. Okay, so that's the beach for now. And in the final video, I'll have a go at this set of rocks.